Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
On the Morning Drive, we get this from the Yates Flooring Center chat line off the Double T 97.3 mobile app, presented by Happy State Bank. NCAA dissed Tech by making them an 11 seed. What idiots. Okay. All that did was make Tech mad, and look where we are now. Terrible job on seeding. Wreck them. Did they get it? I mean, when an 11 seed makes it to the finals, you can say they got it wrong, but did they get it? Did they get it wrong at the beginning?
I think they did. It felt like you were a much better team than the number 11 team in the country, and I think that the action on the field just kind of bared that out. Yeah, proven that. Somebody else says this: on paper, we're as good as the Horns. Mentally, they have the edge. Our turn. I don't know if mentally they have an edge. Maybe just because they won last year, but I mean, not every player is back from a year ago. On both teams. So, I don't know. I think maybe you feel as good as you can going into that series with Texas. I'm sure both teams would have rather not played 2 games yesterday, but when you win 2 games in a day and, stave off elimination, both teams got to be full of confidence, right? Going into Wednesday, I would think. I would think so.
Yeah.
Feel like they have new life.
Right.
Texas had to win 4 straight games without losing one, and Texas Tech had to win 3 straight games so they can kind of exhale a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, here we go.
Right.
Everybody's 0-0 again.
Right. You just kind of, and now you now you can't lose 2 games. You try to win 2 of the next 3, and you do that, and you'll fly a flag forever. Mm-hmm. This JL, the Bama coach, didn't seem happy after the dead ball run scoring play. This is in game 2 where Texas Tech scored its second run. What was he arguing about, in your opinion?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Could have been the extra base that they gave the second runner going to third, but everybody seemed to be kind of on the same page as to what was going on. I mean, he looked like he was just looking for an explanation, but that's the first time I've ever seen the guy, so I can't sit here and say, well, he looked heated. That may be just, it looked like he was just having a conversation and trying to get an explanation. He didn't look overly emotionally upset about it. And it looked like everybody kind of felt like that was the right kind of call there. So there you go. So, you win both games last night. Texas wins both games during the day, and it sets up what should be a really, really good national championship series. Although, if you're just looking at it selfishly, you go, I just hope it's a run rule on Wednesday and a run rule on Thursday, and you get to fly a flag forever. That making, no need any extra theatrics or extra innings or anything about it.
We've had plenty of theatrics.
Yeah, we've had plenty of that going on.
Some on the field and some off.
Let's just get a couple of wins.
Yeah, just get a couple of wins and
maybe 5-3. Be done with it. We don't need walk-offs.
Well, oh man, that was sure exciting though last night, man. That was.
I've had excitement. Let's just finish this.
Okay. Yeah. You feel what's your temperature feel? You feel 75%, 80%, 90%?
Lock it up, 2 wins.
Lock it up, 2 wins. Okay. What's your percentage, would you say, going in, kind of coming off of last night, going into tomorrow?
50-50.
50-50. Okay. 50-50.
That was a shocker, wasn't it?
No, it was not. Yeah, it was a shocker. Yeah. But, at least it wasn't 40-60. It was 50-50. I'm probably in the 75% boat, although I feel like I should pick against him because I feel like that worked pretty well last night.
Yes, but if you pick against us thinking that it's going to work out pretty well, then it backfires on you.
Okay.
So don't do that either.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
We are not messing up the tra-la-la.
Right, you don't want to do that. 6:36 this morning here on the morning drive. We'll have Ranger baseball on the air for you, and the Astros start a series with the Pittsburgh Pirates. We'll get that on 100.7 The Score, as that'll be at 6:40 tonight on The Score. And for the Rangers and the Cardinals, it's game 2 of 3. The Rangers get a 2-1 win last night over the Cardinals, and Jacob deGrom with a really good pitching performance. So, I mean, that's 4 in a row, at least for the Rangers coming off the sweep over the weekend.
Yeah, you'll take that.
Yeah, absolutely. And put you kind of, get you kind of feeling good about things. And it's not, you're not throwing babies in the air or anything yet, but I mean, you're feeling pretty good about stuff. 2-1 was the final last night, and Jacob deGrom last night, pitching-wise, went 5 innings, 4 hits, struck out 8. So over the last 2 games, Leiter on Sunday, he struck out 10 Royals, and last night it was 8 Cardinals. So 18 strikeouts by your starting pitcher over the last couple of games. That'll help you win a lot of games.
It's good stuff right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially
when they're not giving up a bunch of runs,
and when you're not scoring a bunch as well. So Rangers are now 29-31 in the American League West. So there you go. 6:38 this morning here on the morning drive. We'll get to the College Football Hall of Fame ballot here at some point in time this morning, but there's a number of former Texas Tech coaches on the list. I have a feeling that one's going to be selected at least and put into the College Football Hall of Fame, with his name being on the ballot for the first time, and that's Mike Leach. So that wasn't, I mean, they adjusted things a little bit, and deservedly so. I mean, with what Coach Leach did for college football in terms of his offense and how he, redirected things here at Texas Tech and had success at Washington State, and not as much as he would have wanted at Mississippi State, but certainly with what he did here with the Red Raiders warrants him being on the ballot and in the College Football Hall of Fame. At least that's my take on it.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Sports history today is Tuesday, June the 2nd, 2026. With this day in sports history, here is Jeff McGuire.
Starting in 1935, future Baseball Hall of Fame slugger Babe Ruth announces his retirement as player at 40 years of age.
Okay.
I guess all those hot dogs got to him.
Yeah. That's what's the usual comment there.
1958, Yankees pitcher Whitey Ford fanned 6 in a row to tie a then American League record.
Why is that always the joke with Babe? Did we know that he was like a huge hot dog fan?
Hot dogs and beer, yeah.
We knew that hot dogs was his.
He was a fan, but it's also the, Barry Bonds was on steroids, Babe Ruth was on hot dogs kind of concept.
Yeah, I just wondered why was hot dogs and not steaks. You would think a man of Babe Ruth's wealth and importance in the world would have eaten at a lot of fancy restaurants, which don't usually dish out hot dogs. So why do we?
His daily diet would frequently include multiple porterhouse steaks, potatoes, numerous hot dogs, and large quantities of bourbon and Coca-Cola.
Bourbon and Coke, okay. I just always wondered, is this one of these stupid things that sports fans just pass on from one next to the next? Was there actually truth to that one?
The Bambino was famous for his colossal appetite and notorious 1925 hospitalization. Sports historians confirm the famous story of him eating a dozen hot dogs in one sitting.
That'll do it, probably. So it sounds like there is truth to it.
Confirm the famous story of him eating a dozen hot dogs in one sitting was an embellished media tall tale. So you were right the first time.
Oh, okay.
But the bellyache heard round the world. Apparently he fell ill on a train in April of 1925, with a severe intestinal abscess. To explain it away, sports writers famously ran with the rumors that he had gorged himself on 12 hot dogs. In reality, the episode was likely a mix of severe indigestion, exhaustion, and an overactive lifestyle rather than a single Frankfurter binge. So,
all right, so
you were right.
We, as this show, are going to promise that we're not going to make that joke anymore.
Yeah.
Since doesn't seem that it's accurate. It's just been passed on from generation to generation.
Yeah. And
spread the word.
And as
Babe Ruth didn't die for eating too many hot dogs. It was probably the bourbon.
While his snacks did include hot dogs, Jeff's take of profound love for steaks, beer, and whiskey is also there on AI as well.
That makes way more sense to me. Yeah. If he was like a sports writer, it would make more sense because those guys have the ability to sit there at the game and eat hot dogs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Babe's actually playing in the game.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't think he was eating hot dogs while he was in the game.
There you go.
Okay. All right. So
it's a tall tale.
I've ruined that tall tale for everybody.
Mythbuster, Jamie Lent.
Yeah.
1997.
I've offended Jeff. I'm so sorry.
Not at all.
Jeff.
Not at all. Albert Bell's Chicago White Sox tying 27-game hitting streak comes to an end. 2014, Cameron Smith, 3-hitter, helps Texas Tech beat Miami 4-0 in the Coral Gables, Florida for the first Super Regional berth.
Cam the Man. What a day.
Fast forward to 2025. Red Raider softball team backed by another dominating pitching performance from Nigel Kennedy and Lauren Allred. Walk-off sacrifice fly in the bottom of the 7th. Top Oklahoma 3-2 to advance to the Women's College World Series Championship Series, where they will face longtime rival Texas in a best-of-3 series. Sounds a little familiar.
Yeah. Last night was a little more. Well, I don't know if it was more dramatic than that, but it was dramatic. Both years dramatic.
It is National Rocky Road Ice Cream Day.
I'm out.
And National Rotisserie Chicken Day.
Okay.
I like both of those.
I hated it at the old BR when somebody would come in and want a double dip of the Rocky Road. It was the hardest of those to dip. That and pralines and cream, because of all the nuts. Just seemed like the ice cream was the hardest to get a good scoop of.
Okay.
Big time. Happy birthday going out. Major League Baseball star and former Red Raider, Caleb Killian turns 29. Dana Carvey, 71. Wayne Brady, 54. And Kyle Petty is 66. And on this day in 1886, President Grover Cleveland becomes the very first sitting president to marry while he's in the White House.
Oh, how about that?
He entered the White House as a bachelor. He leaves with a wife and 2 kids. I don't know that worked out. Well, it did, because he got married and had a lovely wife. But that's a lot of baggage to pick up while you're in the White House. Mm-hmm. And that is this day in sports history.
6:51 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Unlike Warren G. Harding, who had the campaign slogan thrown at him by his opponents because he allegedly had illegitimate child. Ma, ma, where's my pa? Gone to the White House. Ha, ha, ha.
Okay.
That's
exciting.
You like that one?
Chuck got to vote in that election. It was
no, I did not. Let's see here. If you're considering loading up and going to Oklahoma City, highly recommend to search for seats on the upper 2 rows of the lower section. While the shade won't be as important, there's a constant breeze coming off of the concourse that makes a huge difference in the comfort level. All right, thank you. It's always good to have a little man helping man. And I would think, too, with the games now being at night, obviously you won't have the sun and the heat of the day beating down on you. So hopefully it'll be just a little bit more comfortable there in
I would think so.
In Oklahoma City. I continued, and I realize these are well-conditioned athletes, but still, their play and their conditioning, and they don't. I'm sure they are, and I realize that they're not all running around the whole time, but they don't seem. At least the pitchers, and the pitchers are really who I'm thinking about more than anything because they're involved in every play, and the catchers. But man, they just don't seem taxed at all by their efforts on the mound. I'm sure they are. I'm sure they're sore this morning or they're tired and all that kind of stuff, but they sure don't let on. It's impressive. I think just looking at them and going pitch after pitch after pitch, and then watching them go down.
I mean, it's what they prepare for.
I get it. I understand. Yeah. I understand that.
But it is definitely hot, and they're definitely put a lot of effort into it, and all out there. And it's good that they have the training staff in there to make sure that they're getting plenty of fluids and the right things to keep them going and all that good stuff. No doubt.
Yeah.
Yep.
This from Dan in Dallas. Good for him to weigh in. Jamie, we do not let facts get in the way of a good story. Too many hot dogs is a great story. Yes, thank you, Dan. Thank you, Dan.
Sorry, my bad.
That's all right. No, it's rational. It was good to because I've not always wondered about that myth. I've perpetuated that over the years. So I've not ever questioned it. I was just like, yeah, ate too many hot dogs.
It just never made sense to me because you would have thought Babe Ruth would have eaten, like I said, in a lot of really nice restaurants.
Right, you would have thought they would have.
He would seems like more like steaks would have been his problem than hot dogs.
Yeah,
that's what I've always thought. I don't know. I wouldn't say my whole entire life. But
you would be correct, sir.
Yeah.
But you would.
He was a big fan of the porterhouse, which is a big piece of meat.
If you're somebody like me. And you're thinking, oh, well, Jamie likes cheeseburgers way more than he likes steaks. Mm-hmm. See, that would be different.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
With Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire, I'm Chuck Heinz. It's great to have you with us today on the Morning Drive. We'll have Ranger Baseball on the air for you tonight at 6. Balls and strikes at about 6:35 or so tonight from St. Louis, from Busch Stadium. Then the Astros and the Pirates tonight at 6:40 on 100.7 The Score. So Rangers win last night 2-1 over St. Louis, so they'll try to do it again tonight. 7:16 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Bullfighter says this, feels like us buying out the game for Texas is setting up another failure. And just like when our Big 12 commish called out Texas for the last game in Austin. But we got a pretty important guy on the Visual Edge IT hotline. It's the head coach of the Texas Tech softball team, Gerry Glasco. Good morning, Coach. Congratulations. What an effort by your team last night.
Just absolutely phenomenal effort last night and the night before. I thought the last 3 games have just been spectacular by our athletes.
Coach, just speaking to that, how impressive or how impressed are you with the mental side of things for your team being able to bounce back after that Tennessee loss with 3 really close, really tight games and the way mentally that your team has battled back?
Yeah, it's been fantastic to watch. They just tremendous. They're resourceful and they're really motivated. They're playing for each other so hard, and they've not lost 2 games in a row the entire year. When they lose, they bounce right back. And if you look at their games after they lose, that's some of their best games have come right after a loss. I think it refocuses them somehow. And then to see Kayla and Naja pitching the way they're pitching at this moment in the season, we had that adversity where we gave up quite a few runs in Florida, and we started just switching them back and forth, and they're just amazing to me to watch it all. All 3 catchers sharing the catching position. Everybody just pulling together as a team. Really fun to watch.
Coach, can you talk about your relationship with Naja Kennedy and how she allows you to coach her hard and you get to coach her hard and have tough, frank conversations and how she responds to those?
she's just a great athlete. You know, she's got a great mindset. She's so mentally tough, and she holds herself so accountable, and she's just a phenomenal human being. She's a great person. She's a great athlete. She's obviously, you know, one of the most talented pitchers in the history of softball, not just this year, in the history of softball. Her career's, you know, it's just spectacular. But yet, you know, she wants to be better. She wants to be great. She wants to know when she makes a mistake. And then she's just determined, you know. She's just such a determined athlete that no matter how tough it gets, she's going to get tougher. And then what we're seeing her do right now is just so fun, because it's taken her all year to get, you know, she finally got back to the level that she was last year. And it took her all year to get there, but here she is, and right at the right time.
Coach, as this postseason has gone along, it seems like it's a different player that every game that has been able to come through with big hits. How much are you enjoying the fact that you're getting production up and down that lineup?
Oh, it's so fantastic to be a coach and know that every single inning we got a chance to score, and you know, the bottom of your lineup can put up as many runs as the top of your lineup. It seems like just a whole nother level. You know, a year ago we got here and we knew we had limitations, but this team has no limitations. We just have elite talent up and down and on the bench, and we've got extra outfitters, we got extra speed. There's just so many different ways we can do things with a roster. It's really fun.
Coach, maybe a play that hasn't been talked about. We talked about it a little bit, but that catch by Allred to end the game last night, that was a fantastic play. I don't know if you had a chance to go back and look at it, but that was really an incredible catch.
Yeah, you know, everybody's kind of overlooked it but she went so far. You know, we got in the hotel room, and that's the first thing my wife said. She said, you know, that catch by Lauren Allred was unbelievable. And she just went so far and then reach up over her head, you know, run a full stride and reach up over her head. Now, I didn't think she was going to get it. I thought it was going over her. I just thought it was going over her. And that was just an incredible moment, because if she hadn't make that catch, now all of a sudden you're in a one-run game with a winning run. They're on second and third. The tying run on second or third. But it was just a huge moment. And that's another person. You know, she was at first base all last year, and she went out the outfield. It's taken her all year, but she made herself into a really good outfielder. And, you know, early in the year, we weren't comfortable with her all the time out there when, you know, she just wasn't ready yet. But now she's making a tough place, and she's been a star out there in the outfield defensively the whole last 2-3 weeks.
Coach, last year's championship series with Texas was a great series, back and forth. Obviously, you guys came up a little bit short. What gives you the confidence that this year can be different?
Well, you know, Texas is not going to be easy. They're a veteran ball club. They've got the same players almost they had last year. So they've got that extra year of experience. And then they lost Mia Scott, but they got V.V. Martinez back, and they're just a great team. So it's going to be a really tough series. But there's no doubt we're a much deeper team this year. We're a much more complete team this year. And then we've got another arm to go with Naja, and that really helps having KT and gives us so many more options.
Well, it was an incredible day yesterday in terms of what Texas did and then what you guys did, and now you get a chance to have a day off and take a breather. But you feel like your team is as confident as it's been all year long going into this championship series?
Without any doubt. They are really a confident bunch of young women right now, and they are sky high. So, and I think we needed the rest. We're tired. I mean, we exhausted last night at 1 o'clock, I think, when I got to bed, and really tired. And so the day off will help us. And then just the excitement of getting that opportunity to play Texas again. And this team's been focused that's from the beginning of the season in August. we've had one goal, and that's to win the national championship. And it's right here. It's right at our feet, and it's not going to be easy. You know, I told them yesterday before the doubleheader, it's not going to be easy. That's the reason the national championship is so special. It's not supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be really hard. And it was really hard. And this will be a really hard series. This will be a brutal series. But that's the reward of a national championship. You want to fight. You want to have to earn it. You want to look back and you're gonna realize that there was nothing easy about it. And that's why it's so special. And, we got the opportunity to win a national championship again. And we don't want to let it get away. We want to bring this thing home to Texas Tech and to Lubbock. And it's just going to be phenomenal. And we're going to give it every effort we got.
Coach, thank you so much for your time this morning, and good luck to you and your team. And, man, it sure is an awful lot of fun to watch your group. So we'll see what the next few days look like, and hopefully you're raising that trophy on Thursday or Friday, and we'll have all the games on 92.3 The Hub as we take you through this Texas Tech softball season. That's the head coach, Gerry Glasco, with us on the Visual Edge IT hotline. It is 7:24 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Our conversation with Coach Glasco brought to you by Service Compression.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Jamie's question of the day, that Jamie's the one that brings up the topics. Okay. So I don't know why Jamie would have been avoiding it.
Okay. Jamie doesn't really avoid things.
Yeah. Jamie is going to throw out a topic here that we haven't talked about.
Okay.
And this is in reference to two moves made by NFL teams yesterday that I thought were really, really good moves for both of them that put themselves in a really good position to be really good. So I'm going to ask you guys today to predict the AFC and NFC championship game participants and who's facing each other in the Super Bowl next year.
Wow, that is kind of off the.
It's just something that we haven't talked about. But again, I thought the trade yesterday,
right,
of Myles Garrett to the Rams and AJ Brown to the Patriots. I mean, those were already two really good teams, and it feels like they got better.
Yeah, because I think at this point, it just seems to me the Rams are the clear-cut favorite in the NFC. To me, that seems like it's almost low-hanging fruit and not fair to even. You should say, okay, name somebody other than the Rams, but I'm not. I'm going to say the Rams in the NFC to be in the Super Bowl. In the AFC, it's hard for me to pick the Chiefs because they've got a lot of holes and a lot of challenges, and even though it looks like Mahomes is going to be pretty close to being ready for Week 1, you still don't know that to be a fact. And I think New England had a really special year last year, and so did Denver. So, kind of talking myself out of those two teams. Pittsburgh, they got Aaron Rodgers back, but they got a new coach and Mike McCarthy. I think I'm going to take, and I have no basis for this. I just think it's at some point in time he is going to have his program in place to be able to get his team into championship contention, even though they play in a really, really tough division. But I'm going to take the Los Angeles Chargers.
Okay.
Is this? Did I miss on this? I missed on this, didn't I? I missed on this, didn't I?
Who do you think is playing in the two championship games for the AFC and the NFC?
Okay. I'm going to say the Rams and the Seahawks. I'm going to say the Chargers.
One more? You can do it.
I think the Bills are going to get there at some point in time, so I'll say the Bills.
Okay.
They've been there before.
I know they've been there before, but get
there at some point in time would be inaccurate.
Well, get back to there.
Okay.
Rams. I'm going to go with the Seahawks for the NFC. For the AFC, we're going to go Bills, and we are going to go Patriots.
Okay. And who advances?
We're going to go Rams, and for fun, I'm going to go Bills, because I know Jamie is not going to pick the Bills to make it to the Super Bowl.
In my opinion, they've done nothing to improve their team this offseason, so I would be very surprised with that. So I got the Rams beating the Seahawks and the NFC side of things. So that's two teams from the NFC West. And I've got the Broncos over the Texans. I'm high on the Texans because their defense is so good. So good. And I just feel like, I mean, the big question is quarterback play, right? CJ Stroud. Which CJ Stroud are we going to get? And so I'm banking on CJ Stroud continuing to get better. I think they have a great young coach. So I think the Texans will be really good this year. I think they'll win the South. But, yeah, I'll take the Broncos over the Texans, and then I'll take the Rams to win it all.
Okay.
I mean, I think the Rams were really good last year. I thought it was, surprising that they got knocked out of the playoffs when they did. And to add Myles Garrett, who may be the greatest pass rusher in the history of the game, to that roster, they're clearly all in for right now.
No question. Yeah, no question with what they gave up yesterday. Giving up a first, a second, and a third, all down the line.
Yeah, but I think the Patriots definitely got better with A.J. Brown, and so we'll see if they can keep him happy and keep him quiet and keep him under control and all that good stuff. But
that's an awful lot to ask there.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's an awful lot to ask.
But in defense of A.J. Brown, that Eagles offense was an absolute mess this past year. And their offensive coordinator may have been the worst in the league, and that's why he's gone.
Yeah.
So.
Let's see here. Colorado Raiders. Someone checked Chuck's coffee. Well, that's a daily check.
I'm not checking.
There's a daily check.
Some things you don't check because you don't want to know the answer.
It's just straight up. There's nothing. There's nothing special in there. It's just straight up. Somebody says this: Dallas Cowboys win it all, and Cody Campbell flies the Double T 97.3 staff to the Super Bowl. Bold prediction of the day.
Why would he do that?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
As long as we're all confused.
I'm just reading the chat line. Kobe, Chuck tuned out for about half that question. AFC and NFC championship game participants, and also the Super Bowl, not just Super Bowl participants.
I mean, I really sometimes feel bad for Mrs. Heinz.
She feels bad for you.
Because I know how bad I am at fully listening to my wife at times. And if I'm just going off of just the conversations the three of us have, whether on the air or off the air.
Yeah.
Okay.
I struggle sometimes.
You'd like have blackouts in the middle of sentences and just completely skip stuff. So I can't imagine what you're like at the house.
Terrible.
I mean, does she have to sit down in front of you?
She does sometimes.
And just put blinders on.
I need you to listen to me.
I need you to listen.
I need you to listen sometimes, I think is what's stated.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Hour 2 of 3. It's gone by swimmingly fast this morning. Thank you for being with us. We come to you from the First United Bank studio. Thoughts, comments, Yates Flooring Center chat line. Visual Edge IT hotline is open too at 806-771-0973. Jamie, I really, really wish that I'd had the time yesterday to go to court.
This is, I mean, that thing had Chuck Heinz written all over it.
It did. I just had too much going on yesterday morning, and I had a commitment that I needed to be at, and I wasn't going to miss it. And so as a result, I did miss the court case. They presented arguments, both sides, for 2 hours. The article written by Don Williams in the Lubbock AJ, there's extensive number of quotes, and it's very well written and covered. And there's a lot of depth to this thing. And so the thing that stood out to me is, first of all, Jeffrey Kessler, who spoke on behalf of Brendan Sorsby, he presented the case. Apparently, opening arguments were 45 minutes. He went 48, and the judge even told him, "You're coming up on your time." He went 3 minutes over, and I thought that was interesting. I'm going to give you just a couple of quotes from both sides, because I think this was very interesting to me, because both sides punched really hard. And when you watch kind of courtroom drama on TV, you see that, but usually you don't get that courtroom drama in real life. I mean, stuff gets settled before they ever get to court, and side deals are done and pleas are made, and, you agree to this and you give this concession here. And this was just about making your arguments in front of a district judge. But Brendan Sorsby's attorney, Jeffrey Kessler, said this: "What this case is about is when you have no threat to competitive integrity, but you have a mental illness of gambling addiction, which is plaguing student athletes across the country. The NCAA said in its policies it would consider that, it would support the athlete. Instead, they want to punish him. That's wrong. We think it's illegal, and we hope the court will agree." Okay? Putting out there that others won't come forward because of this, which is something that I've talked about in the past. Taylor Askew, who was the attorney for the NCAA, took issue with that assertion. He said there's been a lot made about, the NCAA has stipulated there were no integrity concerns. Respectfully, that is Mr. Sorsby creating his own definition of integrity concerns. And he points out placing bets on opposing players who were playing against Indiana's basketball team to overachieve during the game. That's an integrity concern. That's betting against your institution. He also talked about the assertion that there was a mental illness with regard to Brendan Sorsby. He said there's no victory lap by the NCAA in taking down Sorsby. Nobody wants to be in this situation. Rules are rules, though. And Sorsby has already received an unwarranted benefit by continuing to play as he gambled. He played for Indiana. He played for Cincinnati. He transferred to Texas Tech. He should not have been allowed to. The only reason he has been is because the substance of his actions were not found out until law enforcement tipped off a sportsbook who tipped off the NCAA. So if we're talking about avoiding irreparable harm, he should not have even been playing the last few years. Then he said this about Sorsby's support team countering an argument that the gambling addictions, that others won't come forward to seek help if Sorsby's banned. Askew said this, and you talked about this from almost the very beginning, and we wondered about this. Mr. Sorsby didn't come forward. He got caught. And when he got caught, then he went to treatment. And that's the first time you heard about this mental health concern. He was found out by law enforcement, and that's what triggered this. So, man, the gloves came off on both sides.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's, that when you go to court, it gets down and dirty.
Sure, it gets ugly. Yeah.
Yeah, and it gets ugly. And the NCAA at times yesterday came across as callous and insensitive. Is that a word? Insensitive. Okay, and but obviously they're trying to win their case, and I think that on the flip side of it, I don't know that anybody doesn't think that Brendan Sorsby has a gambling addiction. I just don't know that they feel like that qualifies him for it's okay that he broke the rules because of it.
Yeah. And I think the other thing is the attorney for the NCAA pointing out that if the judge ruled in Sorsby's favor, it would make the NCAA the first major sports league to tactically approve a player betting on his own team. And he pointed out that
that's just that is a Pandora's box that you just cannot afford to be opened.
And they found that he made thousands of impermissible wagers, totaling at least $90,000 over the last 4 years. And then he also, had signed an agreement here back in January that he wasn't a gambler, that he understood what the rules were. Taylor Askew said this: the whole case for the injunction rises on him being such a serial violator of the rules that it somehow creates some exceptions to the consequences that don't make any sense. There's no
because if he bet less, and you would say, if he just bet a few times, right, and you'd say, oh well, he doesn't have an addiction, he just did it a few times. That wouldn't be okay because he doesn't have an addiction.
Yeah.
But just because he has an addiction, it makes it okay because he bet way more than just a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those things don't really make sense together.
Yeah, and he also pointed out, Taylor Askew did, that there were 2 or 3 bets that he made that would have banned him, and he said we're basically talking about thousands of bets.
Yeah.
So it's the volume in addition to betting on your own team and the continuing to bet and the giving money to your family members or your friends to bet on your behalf. Just it makes it
the deceit and the cover up.
The deceit.
And all that.
That's a great word. The deceit and the cover up. It's too much.
It is clear that this young man has an issue, and again, I said it yesterday. The potential is here that this coming out could be the best thing for him. That he can, if they can get this figured out and he can get this under control, he can go on to have a very successful life and career in the NFL. Okay, because I do think he's going to get to play in the NFL. If this had come out 3 years from now and he's in the NFL and he's doing the same stuff, his NFL career would have been done.
Yeah, he's done.
And so hopefully this young man can get help, and it can lead to, his life going on the path that we all hope it goes for him.
Yeah, because you don't want it to go down the path that others have gone down with regard to gambling and where it just leads to.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.